welcome along to our full-time NRL Finals Special. Joining us this time, we have our mate, JT, Jason Tawhiwhirangi, over there in Aussie. Morning, bro.
Yeah, morning, bro. Morning from the Gold Coast. Another lovely day here, and mate, I'm on top of the world after last night's game, but we'll get to that.
You are.
How are you, boys?
Yes, I bet you are. Also joining us from down in Ashurst, I believe, we have with us Tawhiwhirangi, otherwise known as the Black Savaloy.
Yeah, killed everybody. I was in Ashurst, but now I'm in the Pulse of the Manawatu, staying just down the road from Palmerston North Boys High School.
Awesome, bro. Awesome to have you back on our NRL Final Special. Now, how about that game last night, JT? Was a good one, bro?
Actually, it was, Keith. It was a great game, and it's funny how a week can be a long time in rugby league.
True.
This time last week, the Storm had licking their wounds, could only muster one try in the second half. Parramatta, on the other hand, scored 11 against the Broncos. So you fast forward 1 week, it's a total flip around. Melbourne ran in 7 tries, and the good, pleasing thing for me as a Storm fan is there were 7 different try scorers. So they steered the ball around, and 7 different players were able to get across that line and put the ball down. And unfortunately for Parramatta, they go home with a ducky, but a really good game, really good performance by the boys last night. Very, very clinical and very, like I said, mate, a very happy Storm fan here, and bring on those Roosters next week.
Oh, absolutely. Should be a great game. I mean, some just great plays. That's the Storm that we can remember, right, JT?
Yeah, mate, in a way, I think the Raiders' loss the week before did us a bit of a favour. It allowed them time to regroup and refocus, and definitely for Bellamy to get in their ear and perhaps give them a bit of a bit up the backside, which is what they needed after a very, very lacklustre performance against the Raiders last week. And all the media talk this week and all the Storm bagging, I think, might have also aided in their performance last night because, mate, they were on fire, and it was good to see. Right from the 5th minute, they scored tries at minute 5, 9, 16, 20, and 27. So, in effect, the game was over by half-time, and unfortunately for Parramatta, they just had no answer last night.
Now, Black Savaloy, you are without a doubt the biggest Parramatta fan that I know. Didn't quite go.
I lost 5 kg, so I was
still pretty big.
One, but yeah, what they neglected to do this week was deflate their egos from last week, because living off previous week's glory, you got to remember that, hey, you're going up to the cauldron of Melbourne. And basically there was just no excuse. They got spanked, but they did a lot better last year than last year. They were the winners of the wooden spoon, so to turn that wooden spoon season around in 12 months, and we'll give the NRL a good look at themselves. I think they've done really, really well, but they needed to deflate their egos after the massacre they gave to Brisbane. And Melbourne and Brisbane are two different football teams, and it's hard enough beating Melbourne at Bankwest Stadium, let alone beating them at home.
Yeah, absolutely. So that's something, at least that's a big, huge positive that has come out for the Eels, isn't it?
Yeah, no, it is. And there's 2 players in that team that I give big reps to, and that's anyone from Fiji is usually a good footballer, because they're just natural athletes. Well, a couple of years ago, Parramatta lost Semi Radradra, and so they went shopping for another Fijian, and they found Michael Sivo. So that's a player to look forward to in the future. And someone that's been hailed as the next Peter Sterling is Mitchell Moses. He's got big raps from me anyway. I can see big things on him, if not a Origin jersey or Kangaroo jersey within 3 years.
Right. Now, JT, to me, because I didn't actually get to watch the game, had to watch the highlights. To me, Josh Addo-Carr, man, he was just unreal in that particular game. What did you think, bro?
Yeah, well, he had a bit of a few critics after that little error last week, which basically cost us the game. But he came out all guns blazing last night, and one of his first touches when he went almost the length of the field to score that try in the corner. Yeah, he's back to his best. And one thing about the Fox, one of the commentators said that'll give him confidence, but Steve Roach put it perfectly. He said, mate, there's one thing Addo-Carr doesn't lack, it's confidence. So, yeah, mate, it was good to see him back on board last night. And I think it infected the rest of the team because It just seemed to
did.
click last night. But I'm hoping
did.
what happened to us doesn't happen like what happened to Parramatta with the inflated egos. They've got to go to Sydney against the Roosters, who, for my money, are still the team to beat. However, I think we've got the team to beat them. It's just on the night whether we can turn up or not. So looking forward to this time next week when hopefully we're in the grand final.
You must think the same thing. They'll go pretty well against the Storm. Should go pretty well against the Roosters. What do you reckon, Matty?
Yeah. Well, like you guys just mentioned, what do you expect? He's got to be a good rugby league player with the name Ado Carr. I think it's spelled Kaa, is it? But he just showed what he was worth in the Origin series.
Yes.
And next week I'm expecting the Storm to pluck the Roosters. Sorry to break all the hearts of the Roosters out there, but they've hardly done much to impress me, the Roosters, over the last month. They've had wins, but not like wins where you'll go, wow, that was a mean win. And look at the milestones. Look at the milestones that the Storm's captain is breaking in the NRL.
I suppose so. I don't know. That win against South Sydney in the finals was a pretty good win, 30-6. I think that was there, Matty.
Yeah. And well, it seems that like I also like to promote what Wayne Bennett's doing. Everything he sort of touches turns to gold. But on that particular occasion, it did turn to custard. But it all gets down on the day. And well, when you think about finals football and who's had the most experience, you'd have to put it. You can't go past the Storm. They've had heaps and heaps of experience in finals football. It's like they know what to expect.
Yeah.
And if they are to win against the Roosters, like everyone will agree, it's always the 6, the 7, and the 9 that are the runners of rugby league ship.
That's very true. That is very true, though, isn't it, JT?
Yeah, totally. They call it the spine, and adding to that the fullback too in some instances. But last night's game was touted as being the battle of the 4 big wingers, and obviously the Black Savaloy. Sorry, that's still got me in fits of laughter. That name, it come out of nowhere. You blindsided me with that one. But anyway,
the
2 big Fijian boys and
just quietly.
You've got the 2 big Fijian boys on marking each other, plus the speed of the Indigenous boys, Ado Carr, and I guess the strength and power of Blake Ferguson. But Blake Ferguson is a bit like a, you don't know what you're going to get with him. One week he's hot, and next week he's cold. He's a bit quiet last night, but just a fantastic game. Next week we'll just lick your lips, even if they're big lips. But because there's Roosters have beaten us in Golden Point by a field goal, and we won the return match by 2 points. So another interesting factor is that they'll be without their forward leader Jared Waerea-Hargreaves, who's got a 1-match suspension. So that swings a little bit towards the Storm, because he provides the go forward, he provides the mongrel, he provides the intimidation. He's like a spiritual leader of that forward pack, so he'd be hard to replace.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that's very true. We also saw in last night's game, Cameron Smith get sent off the field for 10 minutes. What were your thoughts about that particular sending off there, JT?
Well, the precedent had been set the night before when Cody Walker got sin bin for pretty much the same thing with an open hand slap. Look, it's by the letter of the law, he had to go. Yeah, I was actually hoping they would send him. Otherwise, you get all the he's the referee, he's this and that, and the Storm are on the take, blah blah blah. So I was thinking, just please send him, mate, and that'll be the end of it. So they sent him, and
the words of Red Raven, I've got to say, bring back the biff. Rugby league was well known for being, quite physical. But as soon as you touch heads or do things the wrong way, then you're gone. I know they have got a lot of penalties to speed up the game, but it can take the excitement out of the football. So, in the words of Red Dragon from Channel 9, bring back the biff, I reckon.
Yeah, that's probably a go away. AJT, bring back the biff, you reckon?
Absolutely. You wouldn't see all this garbage handbags at 5 paces rubbish. You wouldn't see idiots running in 3rd, 4th man in because, a couple of whacks and I ain't going near him, mate. let them get their frustrations out on each other, and then settle down and play football.
In the 80s, I was watching people like Greg Dowling and Kevin Tamati, talking about the Sea Lord fishing quota and whatever on the sideline. But now people were even afraid to hit hard now, just in case they forgot to rest.
Yes, it does seem a bit like that nowadays, doesn't it, JT?
Yeah, totally, mate. Black Savaloy hit it right on top of the head, and it's just desanitizing the game for mine, and I don't like it. But we live in a different world these days, and I'm pretty sure they'll be worrying.
We've got video referees. What they should do is I think they've got it over in American football, is have a drone referee, because a video referee can't call a forward pass. But hey, have a drone going down the sideline so you can call a forward pass. Because when they can't call a forward pass and the ball's gone forward and then they send it to the video referee, there's just too many referees involved. You've got the bunker, there's 4 fellas in the bunker, you've got 2 referees on the field, you've got 2 linesmen, and still they're getting the calls wrong. They've done all this to speed the game up, but when they're checking the try, that wastes at least a minute and a bit of time of our viewing time, checking to see if it was a try.
Indeed. I think you're spot on there. We'll move on, though, with the, with next week's games, which are going to be some pretty big ones there. South Sydney up against Canberra. What do you reckon, JT?
Look, you have to say Canberra would probably be the sentimental favourites, but I think South Sydney's got an extra couple of guns in their holster yet, haven't fired yet, and obviously with Sam Burgess back, and also, old Clint Eastwood or Wayne Bennett, he's no mug. So he'll be getting inside their ears, mate, and he'll be talking to them, telling them what to do, what to expect. And I just think South Sydney, they've definitely got the firepower, and if they can click on the day, then they'll win that one.
Matty?
Well, yeah, I'm guessing, South Sydney, because at the end of the day, you can't go past the master coach. And the master coach also bought, he's got a master coaching crew too, because I think JT will remember that there used to be a famous Parramatta coach called, what was his name? Jack Gibson. And Jack Gibson's old coaching crew that took Parramatta to 3 grand finals in Eastern Suburbs is now supporting Wayne Bennett. So, a lot of people give credit to the coach, but you also got people that are running the sidelines as the coaching crew. So I'm expecting to be a win for the Rabbitohs, only because of the coach's influence. And you're basically going to see in the grand final the Rabbitohs and the Storm, because the Storm are going to pluck the Roosters next week. Sorry to be discriminatory towards the Roosters, but hey, they didn't. I can see Melbourne and Roosters in the grand final. Otherwise, I will run up the main street of Gisborne in my undies.
What do you reckon, JT? The Melbourne game and the Roosters game, bro?
Look, obviously I'm going to be biased in that one, but I do think we have got what it takes to beat the Roosters. It's just a matter of turning up mentally on the night. I remember last year's grand final, they were 20-0 up and we hadn't even sat down. So if they can get the start right and keep them quiet, the likes of, where do you start? Tedesco, you've got Joseph Manu, the other centre, and the big boy Latrell Mitchell. But like I said earlier, Jared Waerea-Hargreaves will be a big blow for them. So I think that evens it out quite a bit. So I'm just quietly confident that we can get them.
I'm sure that the Melbourne Storm certainly can. I've done a rail walker and I've gone for Canberra because, I think just before the playoffs started, I said I'm going to be a Canberra supporter, doing a rail walker and switching to Canberra. So I'm saying go Canberra. I think it's going to be a Canberra Storm final myself. Having said that, so all I've got to say now is that thanks very much to our guests, of course, Matt Carr, the Black Savaloy. Wonderful to have you back there, bro.
Yeah, nice to be making comments, and keep it locked here to Tūrangi FM for the latest in sports, news, reviews, and weather.
And also, JT, awesome to be able to catch up with you once again, bro.
Yeah, also thanks to you, Keithy, captain, and also to the Black Savaloy. Just quickly, though, the Warriors take on the Dragons today in the women's NRL Premiership at 3:15 up there at Ericsson Stadium, Mount Smart Stadium, so you've got the chance to get along to that. Or Whakarongo ki te reo, Irirangi a Tūrangi Nui a Kiwa. Te reo o te iwi.